Chad was talking about like going back to Miami and going to BrandSmart in his Instagram story today. I'm just like, that's a very Miami thing to do. Just
I know what you're talking about.
Buy in the BrandSmart way.
Dude, what I hated about BrandSmart was that their commercial in Spanish didn't change the lyrics at all. So, like, the English was like, buy in the BrandSmart way.
Yeah.
And in Spanish was like, compra la manera de BrandSmart. Why the fuck did y'all use a literal translation there? Like, there's better words. Compra la manera de BrandSmart. Come on.
I don't know what that means, but I get you.
It means Brian the BrandSmart way.
No, won't stop. The way that I keep to deliver.
SJ.
I'ma make these haters reconsider.
BBC.
I kick back,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
high up for life.
Oh, yeah.
And now I won't stop.
I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. Even if I try, even if I try. I won't stop.
Welcome back, y'all, to Y'all Boys Talkin', a podcast about nonsensical improvement, where each week we talk about not only bettering ourselves, but how we can help you better yourself by hearing us better ourselves. My name is Joshua Jean-Baptiste.
Frank Hernandez.
Maximo Santana.
And Steve De La Valentina.
And the four of us have been philosophizing over the concept of STTT, straight to the top. What is straight to the top to you, Max?
Straight to the top means you are looking up. You are constantly seeing where you're going, and you're always trying to make the right steps so that you can get to where you want to go. The top.
Tippity top. How was y'all week, y'all? Did you have a productive week?
Very.
It's a solid week.
Beautiful week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Top 6 weeks?
No, this is the 7th episode.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, this is the 7th episode.
This is
Top
7th
seven.
episode.
Oh, so this is one of the top 7 episodes.
This is the top 7 episodes of all time.
I wonder where this is going to rank for us.
Ooh.
Y'all seen Captain Marvel?
No.
I did not yet. I hear good things, though.
No.
It's
Is
none
it
of y'all
marvelous?
seen Captain. I mean, look, I wouldn't say it's marvelous, but I'd say it's in the top 22 MCU films ever made.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty
Like,
high up
it's
there.
High praise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go see that.
How was the after
I mean,
credit
honestly,
scene?
I'm on the wave of Spider-Man. Like, I can't wait for digital to come out so I can just watch it again and again and again in my own privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, Spider-Verse is amazing. I actually have some stuff talking about Spider-Verse later on in this podcast, so that's actually a really nice setup.
Everyone should always talk about Spider-Verse.
Personally, I very much agree. I saw that movie an obnoxious amount of times, to be 7 times.
I've still seen it 0 times.
Steve, that is a crime. That is
I've
highway robbery.
I've tried twice.
You've tried twice. What
Not
happened?
enough. Not
Did they
enough.
take it away from you? That's the only reasonable
I mean,
answer.
the day I was gonna see it, maybe 2 weeks ago now, they pulled it.
They
And
pulled? What do you mean they pulled
They-
it? What
Like,
is
they
it?
it
yank
was,
you
it was in
away.
theaters, but
Yeah.
they just wasn't there anymore. So then we ended
So
up
you
watching.
went after
something
it left theaters, is what I'm hearing.
They brought it back because it won an Oscar for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went at the end of the week, and it was gone.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
Well, thankfully, it is on digital. Granted, seeing that movie in theaters was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But still, you need to watch that film.
Mm-hmm.
And listeners, if you haven't done that, you sleep. Because everything about that movie is STTT. Which brings us to STT of the Week. Cue music.
STTT of the week.
This week's STT of the Week goes to Miss Greta Thunberg. Now, if you don't know who Greta Thunberg is, she is actively, right now, thinking about not only you, but everybody on the motherfucking planet. Greta Thunberg is a 16-year-old Swedish teenager who staged a school strike on climate in August last year. Since then, she has started a global movement for high schoolers and youth all across the planet to take action. This past week on Friday, over 150,000 students from across the globe left class to protest climate change. She's not like, oh, let's just change, let's work on changing climate, or let's work on stopping that. She's like, let's change the fucking system. I mean, if that is not SCT, I don't know what the fuck is. Personally, I'm really like, I'm a climate change prepper. I'm like kind of scared and like have a really grim outlook. But seeing the youth inspire the youth is actually really promising. I'm hoping that not only she inspires more action, but that hopefully that action inspires our, leaders to take action. I also forgot to mention she got nominated for a motherfucking Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, come on. What were you guys doing at 16?
I'd rather not say.
Yeah. Can we censor that?
Nothing I've thought about.
Yeah.
I mean, playing Guitar Hero that counts as like trying to save the world, right?
On Friday, I got off the train and I just saw that I was like, what's with all these youths? So many kids. Yeah, all these youths.
So many youths.
And then I saw they were holding like poster board and signs, and all of them were like about climate change. And I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. So thanks, Greta, for making sure everyone got to doing that. That's amazing.
What I love about her the most is that she also has Asperger's, and I think that is even more inspiring, and it's more inclusive as well. I think that alone is also going to inspire people because you're not, you quote unquote have a disability, but clearly that has not stopped her at all. But her press conferences have been great because she's doing
press conferences.
She's been doing press conferences, bro.
Oh, snap.
And in those press conferences, she's kind of just like stating all these facts and these really inspiring words. And she has some like funny things in there, but she's just like deadpan the entire time. Like, haha, yeah, but this is not funny. We're all going to fucking die.
Damn.
So, if you don't know her, check her out. Follow her on Instagram and all this stuff. She is really out here trying to save us. And if you sleep on climate change, then support her and her movement in any way so you can stop your sleepness. Because, shit is happening and we need to take action right now.
Yeah, this is a today problem, not a later problem.
Big facts.
And the weather has
really
been
inspiring.
nicer since this Saturday and today. So maybe that walk did have a very direct impact.
The Earth was listening, yeah.
I mean...
Hey,
thanks for the science thing.
No, it's a reach, but I'm really optimistic.
that is optimistic. Yeah, I'll take that. Shout out to Greta. We hope you keep moving and keep fighting. On that note, we're gonna take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
After a long, hard workout, I love to drink water. Well, that was refreshing. Kobe!
Hey, you dropped something.
It's cool, bruh. It's not a big deal.
What?
From the people who brought you The Reusables Part 1 and The Notebook.
You think this is a game?
Dude, you're stretching out my collar.
Do you know how long it takes for plastic bottles to decompose?
I don't know. Get off me.
1,000 years!
20th Century Disney invites you.
Okay. I'll throw it out.
To always.
See? It's in the trash. You happy?
Recycle.
Green is for organic materials only.
The Reusables Part 2. Reduce, reuse. Revenge.
And we are back. Thank you so much for sticking tuned. And now is the time for the meat and potatoes, or tofu and potatoes, of this podcast, our challenge checkup. So, also long ago, Max came up with a glorious idea of assigning New Year's challenges to each of us. We decided to participate, and we decided to give each other New Year's challenges. Over the course of this podcast, you'll be hearing us fail, succeed, and everything in between.
And to spice it up just a little bit, our 10-year high school reunion is coming up this June, so we must complete all 12 challenges, 3 each, by that time. If we fail, the people who fail have to give a dissertation about how they failed and like their losses to the alumni. But if we succeed, we will be showing up to this wonderful reunion in a Lambo.
Blasting lamb talk.
Lamb talk.
Yeah.
We still haven't figured out how the 4 of us are going to fit inside the Lambo, but...
Or afford the insurance for...
Or afford it.
Or
like,
afford
the
insurance.
Any
But, hey,
logistics, yeah.
you shoot for the stars, you land on the moon, man. So whether it's a Lambo or a Ford Explorer.
Wait. It's backwards, Josh. You shoot for the moon, but if you miss, you land on a star.
No, the star is farther than the moon.
Yeah, the moon is way closer than the stars.
Just because it's an easy shot doesn't mean you're guaranteed to hit the moon every time, which is why there's like so many fucking stars.
Whatever. All right. Anyway.
Whatever. All right. Fine.
Frank, why don't you start us off since you're shooting out here? How was your week?
Okay, so I have 3 challenges. The first one's from Josh to maintain a consistent meditation regimen. The second one from Steve to try the no S diets for 4 weeks. No snacks, no seconds, no sweets. And from Max to speak up more at work concerning social issues. So I'm going to start off with the old meditation regimen. Guys, I'm killing it out here. Yeah. 41 days as of today. Every single day, 10 minutes, getting up, turning on the Calm app, listening it to fake rain, to fake ocean, fake desert sounds, whatever that one actually is.
Wait, yeah, what are desert sounds like? Do you hear...
That's wind.
The sounds of tumbleweeds bouncing by.
Just like, low tumbleweeds. But yeah, just like having that every day. It's been really good, and I've had some ups and downs, over the past 7 weeks. But having that little bit of consistency every single day has always helped me to keep me grounded. So I'm excited to do that. And Josh, last week you said you wanted to up the ante because I'm killing it. Did you have anything?
I thought about it. And I said I'm gonna wait a little longer for you to get to the next level. How many days are you again?
41.
So I'm gonna wait for you to get to like 50 days, and then we're gonna step it
up. As I've noted before, my previous record was 46 days. So by the time of episode 8, I'll actually be past 46. So this is exciting to be able to break new ground and break my own personal record as far as meditating every day. So
you'll be at your most enlightened ever.
The most enlightened I've ever been. So I'm super duper excited about that. My second challenge is trying a no S diet. Okay, so last week was tough. I spent $100 on Uber Eats.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that wasn't great. But that's what was last episode. What I've done since then is I got 4 out of 7 days.
Okay.
And I just, so last week's podcast, it got a little deep. There's a lot of soul searching, had a bit of a tough week. And I also mentioned that I was going to get a book. The name of that book is called In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts by Gabor Mate, MD. So this doctor who works in Canada, helping people with addiction. Now, addiction not just in the sense of, drugs or alcohol, but also in the sense of work or food or really the inner things that drive us to kind of want to overdo things to the extent to, for them to be bad at you. The whole no S diet thing is because I gained a lot of weight. And, Steve, who gave me the diet, pointed out that I'm very much, if I want to work out, I'll work out all the time. But as it comes to my diet, I haven't been the greatest at it. And trying to keep this up has been, a bit difficult. But since starting that book and really kind of digging deep within why I'm overeating, why this is happening, it's helped a lot. I got the 4 out of 7 days. I limited myself to 1 Uber Eats thing a week, which I've kept to. My big issue last week was I'm having a difficult time rewarding myself, but at the same time, the reward is keeping to this. The true reward is losing the weight.
Right.
The reward isn't the McDonald's. The reward isn't the Popeyes. The reward isn't an Uber Eats. I did one, and I even didn't even want to really do that one. I just kind of did it more out of habit than I did because I truly wanted to do it. But I feel even going into next week, the farther I get into this book, the more I delve deep into the reasoning behind these choices, the less I'll want to do, and the more I want to stick to this diet because my true goal is a little bit farther there. So instead of going for the instant gratification, I play the long game.
Nice.
So,
Wow, that's very commendable, Frank. What I do like about that is you decided to dig into the why, and I think that's the backbone of this podcast. How and why do we achieve our goals, and when we're not, why the hell are we doing that? It's this thirst for curiosity on the human condition that I think really gets to actual progress. So that's really awesome, man.
Yeah, and we talked last time about the power of habit and the cue, the action, the reward, and it sounds like you really found out what the reward was, and it wasn't what you thought it was last week, which to me sounds like progress.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to just try to keep on to doing that.
Yeah, so what's up? So next week, what, you gonna do 7 out of 7, or we doing 4 out of 7? I mean, come on, what's up?
It's gonna be 7 out of 7. And Steve, one of the things you actually asked me to do last week is delete the Uber Eats app, and then I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll start using Lyft. I haven't downloaded Lyft. Sorry, Lyft. There goes our sponsorship. Uber is still pretty fantastic, but well, actually no, I did delete it, but then I re-downloaded it for that one time. But I didn't feel like the need for it, especially Friday night, which is usually the days where I'm like, I need this the most. Like, this is important. Like, I've had a tough week. No, I didn't do it then. And I kept to it. I ate what I had in my house. I went grocery shopping. I got exactly what I needed and no more. So, on to next week for that.
Okay.
And my third challenge, speak up more at work concerning social issues. So this wasn't a week that was too crazy. So I actually just wanted to bring up, because our "Are you black?" question kind of got a really good response. I kind of want to bring up another scenario here. So this week, I actually want to talk about interracial relationships. Yesterday, I went to go see this movie, and one of the previews beforehand was for this film called The Sun Is Also a Star, which looks to be a pretty straightforward romantic movie with, from what I could tell from the trailer, pretty interesting visual style that I personally appreciate. What makes this film even more notable is the fact that it stars and features a romance between a black woman and an Asian man, a pairing that Hollywood has not gone to very often. In fact, the last time this was done on such a major stage was the 2000 film Kiss of the Dragon starring Jet Li and Aaliyah, where the end of the film initially had Lee and Aaliyah kissing, but it tested so negatively they switched it to a hug.
What?
Yeah, apparently, audiences were just not having it. So 19 years later, at the end of that trailer, the woman behind me, who I assumed and later confirmed was Caucasian, said to her partner, "Really? Is this what we're doing now?" I was saying this the whole trailer. "Is this what we're doing now?" To which her partner laughed. At this point in my life, there's still an optimistic side of me that hopes that we live in a world where we understand how important representation is. For myself as an Afro-Latino, I was so happy that as far as major films go, we had Coco, Black Panther, and of course, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in the past couple of years. So the fact that there's this movie coming out featuring a pairing that is not really highlighted in mainstream media is exciting to me. But based on the reaction of the woman behind me, that's still not really the case with everybody. As far as my partners go, I've dated and seen all shapes and sizes and skin tones, including girls who either were or could pass for white. My father is very dark-skinned and my mother is very light-skinned, so the fact that some people could think of people with different skin tones or ethnic backgrounds getting together as weird was shocking to me. To be honest, I never really experienced or noticed this in New York, Miami, or San Francisco, but out here, particularly when my ex and I went to more affluent areas, the looks we would get would be piercing. Hell, one of my former coworkers once straight up asked me, "Why are black guys into white women so much?" That's a real thing. A former coworker once told me, "Why are black guys into white women so much?" All of y'all boys have been involved in interracial relationships. This group, even though we're all first-generation Americans with roots in Miami, our own varying skin tones alone, this is an interracial relationship. But what are y'all thoughts or experiences on interracial relationships?
Yeah, so I think I have a very different experience than most people do, because being biracial, my parents were both born in the Dominican Republic, but my mom's a black Dominican, my dad's a white Dominican, and that was the first example of love I had in my life, my parents, and they're very much in love. They're still very much in love.
Shout out to the Santanas.
Shout out to the Santanas, right? so of course, me growing up, I didn't know that there was a taboo. I didn't know that most people saw that as like a different, unique thing. To me, that was the norm. That was the standard. And of course, watching TV, going outside and seeing other couples, I did realize that you can have a couple, you know, within one race, and that most people do it that way. But I didn't know.
I've seen it before. It's not.
Yeah, I was aware it was a thing, you know, but I didn't, you know, understand there was a difference, or a difference even in perception between an interracial couple and a same race couple growing up. I had to be informed that that was a thing. Like, I learned about that in textbooks and stuff, that people really did not find that okay, and that they had like laws against miscegenation. They had a name for it, miscegenation, right?
What is it called?
Miscegenation.
Miscegenation.
Yes. Like mixing of the races in a like political term. And yeah, there were laws against that in many, many states, of course, especially throughout the South. And I didn't know why that would be such a thing. And luckily I had some history teachers and some just racist individuals to tell me about why it made them feel
Thankfully, I had those racists just ready to go.
Thanks to the racists, now I know. Yeah.
Thanks, racism. No, I take that back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, in my case, I've always seen it as a beautiful thing. Just because me growing up in race, it was always different in the sense that I knew 100% I wasn't white. Like I didn't understand I couldn't relate to white people because I didn't know white people.
Yeah, you didn't identify as white.
Yeah, I didn't know what a white person was. I remember in like middle school and high school hearing this concept that Latinos and Black people, everyone's like a minority, but that didn't make sense to me in everything that I saw, because I think our high school was like at the very least half Haitian alone.
Yeah.
And I think
there was a lot of Asians.
I think and then you can actually count the number of white kids that we had in the school. It was probably less than 10 out of 2,100.
100%. And Steve, like on that point, because we went to like predominantly like Black high school and like through in middle school, and you went to like elementary school in Miami as well. You know, the idea of us being a minority is like, what are you talking about?
It didn't hit me until college when I moved out to Orlando, and I was like, oh, that's where everyone is not, you know, a Latino or Black or Asian or anything. Because I just simply didn't know white people.
Oh yeah, the first time I felt like a minority in my life was in high school when we went on a theater trip to Tampa, Florida, with a bunch of other theater groups. And then when I realized, like, oh my gosh, as soon as we got there, it was very evident that we were the Black school.
Yo, remember when I did a monologue about I was a Black Panther, and then I was talking about killing white people, and then they were like, oh, is anybody offended by this? And all the kids raised their hand. Mind you, I did that monologue at that point at States. I did that monologue like 30 times. So, you know, but I did it around a bunch of like Black kids. My experience with interracial relationships has evolved over the years. I will say, and I'll be the first to admit, I was conditioned by the system when I was younger. I thought white was beautiful. I thought white was the standard, and everything that, you know, was reflective of that. Primarily because I watched a lot of Nick at Night when I was a kid, and it was just like a lot of like 50s cartoons. So that's what I saw as beauty. And it took me a while to shake that up. And, you know, especially like, you know, going to a hood school, like it was a lot of like, you know, it was a lot of ratchet people. And my idea of Black beauty was really, really skewed until I got to college. And I realized I was one of the only Black people there. And I was like, there was a lot of Latinos there, but still, like I was one of the only Black guys there. And it was kind of like decades of like this conditioning slapped me across my face. Mind you, I dated Black girls, but this idea of beauty like was so ingrained to me. And as I started like seeing and experiencing more and more white women, and I realized, I was like, this shouldn't be the standard. And I started appreciating my own culture more. And I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me? And it sucks that, now in the past decade or so, we're using more and more inclusion, and people of color are breaking in the industry, and there's this vibrancy that I hadn't really been exposed to before. But God, I felt like I was brainwashed by the system.
Yeah, that's like you said, conditioning.
Conditioning,
because
right?
everything that we've seen,
My conditioning was conditioned.
It was. It was. It's the medium, and that's why I'm really happy for this movie. It could be a shitty movie, but the fact that they're prominently featuring like an Asian man and a black woman as the lead characters in a romantic film, I'm really excited about it. So when I heard that woman behind me say that, I was just like, there's just some people that literally find it
abhorrent,
like a waste of time.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, like it's just like, really, we're doing this now? Like, I couldn't believe I was hearing that shit.
Wow.
But that's her conditioning.
That's crazy.
That was her conditioning. She was brought up probably in a family that didn't hang out with a lot of people of different ethnic backgrounds, and probably went to school with a bunch of people who looked like her, and just dated a bunch of men who looked like her father. It just kind of went into that state. So the moment she sees something that kind of is a little different from what she's used to, really, is this what we're doing now? So hopefully this is what we're doing now.
Hey,
I would like that if that's what we were doing now.
Same.
I'd like it.
I second that, doing that.
So having said that about this sense of appearing white but not relating to white, I found out the hard way that this, I guess, looking white in a mostly black or just like Latino school gave me this, maybe, I guess, disadvantage in dating, because I found out years later that a lot of the girls, I found out years later that girls I could have potentially been interested in were also interested in me, but they had made an assumption that I just wasn't into black girls, when it was like the complete opposite of the truth.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just weird hearing that, because it's just like, what, really? Like, I never made any notion or like preference, that would say otherwise. Yeah. So then I just, never got to date a black girl in high school because of that reason, even though they were like overwhelmingly the majority of girls, and also just were also very attractive. And
yeah, the assumptions that we all make.
Works both ways, unfortunately.
Max, what you got?
Max, what you got for us, Doc?
Max, what I got is 3 challenges. I got 3 challenges. One is to see a therapist. Another one is to write the first 60 pages of my Great American Novel. And the last one is to get people caught up on the Best Lives model.
What you got?
I'm trying to start. So I'll start off with my Great American Novel. And not ashamed to say I did not make any progress writing on that this week.
What threw you off?
I did spend a good amount of time writing a blog post about what we talked about 2 weeks ago. So I'm starting to have blog posts every, like the day before we drop the podcast, about the week before. So the day before, people can go to my blog and find out more about last week's episode before the new episode. That's what I'm going for. I had a lot of fun writing the blog post for the last week's episode this week. So I'm flexing my writing muscles more, but not on that making a book project. Absolutely. So I just have to, I need to get more writing endurance, because I feel like I have energy to write and I want to write, and I just seem to use all that energy on one project and not have enough time for the other projects I have. I have a few in the works right now, but it seems like I'm only making progress on one of them every week. So I'm trying to extend my writing endurance to be able to work on more than one project every week.
Max, have you been prioritizing certain projects over one over the other, maybe out of like one is more timely than the other, and like the blog posts are built around certain things?
Yeah, so like certainly the novel has a due date, but that date's, months from now. Whereas the blog post is like, it has to be on the day before. It has to be on Tuesday, right? So, of course, on Tuesday or Monday, I'm like, type. Got to get that out. Whereas maybe I'll start feeling the heat for the novel in a few weeks, I hope. But it really just doesn't. Yeah. I'm not feeling a lot of heat right now.
Max will write 20 pages.
Yeah.
Hey man, honestly, that's been a lot of my writing career.
Yeah, I try to have like goals in terms of I should be writing this many pages throughout the weeks, but those haven't been motivating me much at all. So I'll just try to. I think I should be writing more, and when I say that, I mean not just writing when I feel like I have that certain burst of inspiration, but I think I'll be playing around more with budgeting time to write, even though I don't specifically have a message in me at that moment that needs to get out.
Well, Max, why don't we do this? Why don't we do a micro challenge? Can you have 3 pages for us next week?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
micro challenge.
And I like the idea of the micro challenge for the fact that it's a very tangible amount. It's not like breaking down larger goals into smaller goals actually tends to help.
Yeah. Plus, you'll just receive a tremendous amount of shade from our listeners that will be disappointed in you.
Oh yeah, Absolutely. So just think about how all of y'all listeners will be disappointed.
Yo, side note, shout out to the 70 people that follow us on Instagram. We love you if you're listening to us right now.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next challenge was to get people on the Best Lives model. And
what's the Best Lives model, Max?
The Best Lives model is personal branding for everybody. It's a nonprofit organization I'm trying to start that gets people to understand the role that their online presence has on them becoming who they want to become.
Okay.
And it's making sure that everyone knows how best to use things like Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest in their lives to like get shit done. Not just, post pictures and get some likes and wash, rinse, repeat. You can really use all these social networks to your advantage to make your real life goals come true if you just think about it for a second. So I'm trying to get people up on that. And just an hour ago, our podcast took a test drive on one of my first branding exercises, and I think it actually worked out great.
Yes.
So I actually want to ask you guys here for feedback on what we just did.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it really refined our mission and our vision for this show. I thought it gave us it actually legit gave us a mission. And I think it caused us to find what our identity is as a institution.
Absolutely. Yeah, so just to break it down really quick, what we did was figure out what a few of our goals are, figure out what some actions we're going to take to follow those goals are, and then distill that into what our mission is.
And I think if we want to talk about like taking large challenges and then breaking it down to smaller challenges, I think that's exactly what we just did. You know, we took this grand idea of like what we want this podcast to be, where we see ourselves in the future, completing it and turning it into like we need to do X, Y, and Z.
Right. Once we know what we want to do, how the heck are we going to do that, and why do we think it's going to do that for us? So that's all the questions we asked, and I definitely want everyone to ask questions like that of themselves. So if you want to reach out and do the exercise we did, hit us up on @YallBoysTalkin or me @JessRuckLambo, and I'll throw you an exercise that you can do with yourself or with any group of people on what project you're working on to get your ideas centralized.
Max, are you actively trying to achieve your goals on this podcast right now?
No.
Because like last week it was just like, I gotta find somebody. I gotta find somebody to do it. And then like last minute you were like, hey dog.
Oh yeah. So the person I reached out to was busy this weekend, so I had to scramble last minute to find somebody. So I could have just given up and be like, oh, they were busy. But I actually went and found an alternative. So
I think more importantly for your last challenge, Max, speaking of like following up.
No, I didn't leave this for the end for a reason. So my third challenge is to see a therapist. And gentlemen, on March 28th, 2019, I have an appointment with a mental health specialist.
Woo!
I made an appointment. And I really don't think that is a life-changing thing just yet. Just not the first appointment.
Hey, man, we're counting the small wins, bro.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, it only took you 7 episodes. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, listen, it was very thoroughly well researched and had to have been.
Only the best is the best.
So now we know. 7 episodes. That's your benchmark.
Yes. So if I can get another one in before the 14th one, progress. So I got an appointment in the books, and I'm going to be talking to them on that day. So
are you seeing a psychologist, a psychiatrist? What you seeing?
I believe just a therapist, a group practitioner. Okay. I don't know what the title was, but okay. Yeah, I'm getting in for apparently the pre-screening is the first thing you need to do, so they can just get a, check as to, what you've been doing mental health wise for the time being, and, what kind of issues you're having, or what kind of things you foresee yourself having, what kind of problems you foresee yourself having in the near future. So I'm doing that pre-screening, which is step 1 on that day.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, well, thank you, Max. We appreciate the efforts.
Yeah, it was a lot of phone tag, but I made it happen. So nothing too crazy, not a lot of ridiculous hoops to jump through, but definitely was reluctant to jump through those hoops.
7 episodes, Sam. That's your name.
7 episodes.
That's why they call you 7 episodes. Yeah. Steve. 7 episodes, Steve. Where'd you go?
Yo. So I got 7 weeks worth of challenges.
Whoa.
This one past week was challenging.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I overcame. I oversaw, and I overcome. No,
you oversaw. I saw it. I saw they were there.
You were looking at them for too long.
I oversaw. So my first challenge was to not wait, which is going to be the first one I address every single time.
Amazing job. Nice. Great work.
Yes. Did it just now. And I did it this week by talking to one of the higher ups in the company about this idea I had, which I can't get into too much details because NDA, but it's kind of something that's been on the back of my mind. He seemed interested, and that got me more excited about it. I'll follow up on it in the weeks to come, because even then there's not a whole lot of information in there. It's just an opportunity I've kind of created for myself by pointing out it's something that I want to do.
Nice.
Cool. So in summary, you went to work and talked to your boss about Redacted, and you're going to come back on Redacted to Redacted.
Redacted.
I would like to let you know that my client spoke in the affirmative.
Great.
I can neither confirm nor deny this podcast. This one is not legally. This
was not legally binding.
This episode is off.
We're gonna re-edit it, so we go. Say, Steve, how were your challenges? Redacted.
It's gonna be a long tone. That you just go like,
all right. What about your next goal, Steve?
Yeah. So the next challenge was to make music, and I didn't make music per se, but
you made the idea of music.
Yeah.
I talked about making music with one of my friends, but then I also opened up Garageband for the first time just to kind of poke around it, and I actually really enjoyed it in the sense that I was able to do something I had been struggling to do with the only software I actually have experience with, FL Studio, and that is to just touch random keys and buttons and have that record as a piano roll for me to eventually figure out what I'm doing with music and make a melody. That was a big deal for me because I wanted just something that I can kind of press and play around with, and GarageBand made it really easy. So shout out to GarageBand for being user-friendly.
I'm gonna need a tip on how to do that, because I was trying to do that this week too, and it wasn't.
Well, yeah, I'll list all the tips and tricks because I'm a GarageBand certified musician.
Nice. I like this because it's better than looking at a banjo.
It's better than looking at a banjo. And it's not the video game.
Those were dark times.
Yeah. So I think we're all past looking, and now we're all past
into doing
poking around.
Yeah. And Steve,
so I'm at that stage.
Last week you brought up the idea of like making a video game. Like, since your video game will probably have music, have you gotten any farther in that particular aspect?
Yeah, so I've narrowed down the genre, because I think that's probably the genre of the music, because melody or emotion and tone, that's going to take me a long time to know how to properly express with music. So I think that the basic building blocks of understanding how a specific genre is defined is a good step for me to take. So I'm very versed in hip hop. So that's one more obvious one. I've played my share of kind of old school games like retro 8-bit, Super Nintendo buzzwords. Yeah, so I like a lot of that kind of chiptune sound that I've actually had a little bit of experience in making. So I'm gonna try to dive deep into that. But lately, I've had this very weird new fascination with a genre of bossa nova.
What is a bossa nova?
I found, actually, thinking about it too, if it contributes to this, what did we call them? Like the goal points that we try to go for?
We call them maxes.
The progress units.
Yeah, it's a
maxes. Yeah. I would attribute this as one max because
I am so mad that's probably gonna stick.
It's stuck, legally binding.
I could just imagine it like 7 different max heads, and then like the top.
And the last one is like a fraction. Yeah.
all with the hair and the beard.
Yeah.
So what was
this one?
How many maxes?
Yeah, this one max came from learning the basics of the bossa nova drum beat, which is kind of quirky. It's just like a 1-3-3. Yeah, something like that. So then once I get that down on Garageband, then I can start toying around with melodies and other elements, and it's just really exciting times to make bossa nova music.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Not that it's on the resurgence or anything, but it's exciting for me.
Hey, when you're learning, everything's exciting.
Oh yeah.
But have you now, as far as your journal goes?
Oh yeah, have you been writing your adventures down?
You been writing any of this down?
So the journal has been a major strain in my challenges.
Oh no.
It has been. But I'm proud to say this week I journaled every single day.
Whoa! So you got 7 out of 7 maxes?
That's 7 maxes.
I got maximum maxes.
Wow.
Yes.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah. So it all came from last Sunday, where I just got real with myself, and I might have mentioned it in the previous episode, but I found the importance of sorting out my tangible goals, like clearing debt, buying a house, maybe increasing my education somehow. Those kind of like tangible things that I can say, yes, I did it, versus the ever growing versus improving certain characteristics that can never be properly ever defined, like being more aware, being more focused, being more empathetic, those kind of things. I can't really measure that. So separating those out, writing why I wanted to do them and how I could do them, was just really set a lot of things off last week. And so every single day I would kind of start off just mentioning like highlights of the day, and then getting deeper into some of the more emotional things that have been more on my mind, and just mentioning, oh, okay, this is probably why I feel this way. Maybe if I do something differently, or just having it out there on the journal felt that much better.
True. Yeah, I think organizing your thoughts, super important.
Wow.
Yeah, and I truly do feel way more organized, just overall in general, with everything else that I've been able to do in the past week, and I'll touch that on the Rosebud Thorn.
Nice.
But yeah,
wow,
it's been a productive yet challenging week.
Damn, I'm glad you maxed out your maxes.
You get maxed out. But Josh, how many maxes you got this week?
Ooh.
I got all the maxes.
Okay.
No,
talk about it.
I'm kidding. So this week was a good week. I'll say it was a good week. My challenges were to make music, bonus points if it's with the banjo, keep a detailed account of my finances and budget, and keep a consistent workout schedule. Working out. I was shooting for 4 days this week. I did not achieve 4 days. I did not achieve 3 days. I achieved 2 days. However, one of the days I did 2 days worth of working out.
Okay.
And normally, you do 1 day upper body, 1 day lower body, but one of the days I did upper body and lower body. I was in the gym for 4 hours.
Damn.
So,
Jesus.
Okay, I'll give that a double max.
Yeah. So I think I got 3 maxes worth of working out this week.
Wow.
My goal was 4. Next week I'm gonna shoot for 4, and I think I could hit it because I went to the gym with my roommate Gino, who's a personal trainer, and he gave me a standardized set of workouts. He said, do these things, upper body and lower body. That's why we were there for so long, because he did all the upper body workouts, all the lower body workouts in one session. So I was there for a very long time.
Cool.
But now that I'm equipped with that, moving forward, I know what to do moving forward. So he's like, try this for a month. I want you to just master these, knock these out, and then in a month we'll update it with more in strenuous or things to improve on. So, he taught me form, did the whole thing. Shout out to Gino. It was really awesome. My body feels like shitza right now.
Yeah, you've been talking about this standardized, formalized workout for a minute, so I'm glad you have it. And I definitely want to see you put it into practice 4 times this coming week.
Yes. Oh, God. Well, I will say I might not be able to do that
already.
You're already afraid.
You said 4.
Yeah. No, I will say it's. I'm gonna try to do it because I'm leaving town this week, so I might have to find. I mean, I'll probably go out and do a jog or do something.
Yeah,
to kind of.
You're going into one of those towns that have no gyms, right? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying?
I'm gonna see how I can finesse it this week. I'm gonna see how I can finesse
that's all we ask. That's all we ask. Have a plan for it. Just have
everything's
a plan
about trying to finesse.
Have some finesse.
Yeah, I'm challenging you, Josh. I will be very proud. Not if you can get 4 workouts. I will be proud if you can do that. But I will be extremely proud if you can fit a workout in with your trip.
Okay.
I'll be very proud of you if you can do that.
All right, cool. I'll keep that in mind.
Micro challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I say that as somebody that myself, I'm very tripped up by when I go out of town with my workouts, with a lot of my habits. So that's something I'm definitely been trying to work on, and I would love to see if you have a hold on that.
Okay, thank you. I accept that, and I will update.
Right, that's I'm giving you a micro challenge.
All right, thank you. I'm racking up the maxes. My next challenge was to make music, and I've been banjoing it up this week.
We heard. Yeah.
Our listeners didn't get a chance to hear this, but I dropped a little draft of a track I'm working on to the guys in our WhatsApp chat, and it was pretty dope. I used Garageband.
Hey.
I've been practicing like probably 2 or 3 times a week, and the other day I was like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? So I said, why not just jump in? So I put on a nice little drum loop. By the way, I think it's funny how on GarageBand, when you clip the hip hop settings and the different types of hip hop beats that they have are categorized by the names of producers. So there's like Dez, which is like trap.
Wow.
Then there's like Dante, which is like more like conscious hip hop.
Dante.
Wow.
It's a conscious hip hop name.
No, I was looking through those similar loops, and I'm almost positive like some of the preset names they had were like Concrete Jungle, Urban Upstart. I don't know. It was just like whoever wrote these does not listen to
like, what are you doing?
Urban Upstart.
That one isn't a thing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a youth center.
Right. No, he's not a drug dealer. He's an urban upstart entrepreneur.
He's an entrepreneur, CEO of his own company, dog.
Yeah, I mean,
urban upstart.
It was dope though. I put on a drum loop and I just started bong bong dong 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 bong bong bong. And then I took some lyrics and I started rapping over it, and it was dope. It was really, really dope.
I can attest it because he did send it to us, and like I really dug it, and I'm super excited for you to keep doing it, Josh. Like it's a great, again, from looking at your banjo 3 weeks in a row to this, like I'm very proud.
Progress,
tremendous improvement.
Progress. And lastly, my finances. I did not talk to Steve. We did not have a chat about budgeting.
Nice.
I
Confirmed.
did not sit there and quantify or take account to what my expenses are going to be. However, I did not spend a lot of money this week. I paid all of my bills, and I actually, truly, honestly, was going to finish paying all of my bills to sit down and quantify it, because that nebulous money that I was worried about, I still got it.
That's good.
It's here.
It's still not nebulous money.
Yes. True. You're right. It's not nebulous money.
Okay.
But
so I feel like we just stopped the leak, which is good.
yes.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
It was leaking for a little bit, but now we stopped it. Okay. Now we got to look at all the water that got on the boat. and figure
Gotta get the
out
water out of
what
the
we're
bowl.
gonna do with
It's gonna
it,
be
right?
exactly.
Gotta get a
so I
bucket.
know
Yeah.
I realistically need to take out some funds for my trip. So I've given myself like a $200 cap, and everything else I'm planning on saving away or tucking away, getting it out of my checkings. And
Yeah. Well, didn't we talk about paying down your highest interest rate loan?
I did do that.
Okay.
So I made that
nice.
payment already. So now I have money that I'm just gonna save.
Great.
Because those were your two goals, like to pay down your debts and to save money.
Yes.
So the fact that you're already getting on both, good.
And I've noticed
Yes.
that my every period the minimum payments are getting lower and lower. So
Nice.
yes.
I would say to build off of that, you want to find out how much not just you can contribute to your highest interest rate loans, but how much you possibly could, in terms of not just what's left over goes to your loan, but like if you budgeted out your money smart and you put away what you need to put away and you only pay for the things you had to pay for, how much money could you possibly, what's the maximum amount of money you could contribute to all of your debts? I think that's a very important number to know.
Okay.
So if you could find that number out, like an aggressive number for what you could pay to your debts in 1 month, so you know what your goal is to paying.
Oh,
your
okay.
debts.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you could find out by, talking
Yes,
to me.
Steve,
As a-
we are going to
a
talk
budget.
after this recording if you have time.
Great.
Great.
Find out what the maximum you can contribute to your loans is.
Okay, cool. And that is the challenge checkup.
Ooh wee.
We hope we inspired you in some way. Some of us is slacking, but some of us is maxing. We'll be right back.
Are your texts getting misread? Need to tell someone something right now? Spell check getting on your ducking nerves? Try phone calls. Grab phone, dial, ring it, and smile. Contact your friends in a jiffy. Listen to the tone of their voice, the emotion in their voice. Glad, mad, happy, and rad. All sounds are included. Using age-old technology, your phone beams your voice wirelessly right to your friends, family, and even your dog. You can get phone calls using any cellular device, even the one you're using right now. Try phone calls, the best new old way to connect.
Oh, I got my rose, I got my bud, I got my thorn. Here is the rose and the thorn and the bud of the week. I got my rose and my thorn and my bud.
Rosebud Thorn is a wonderful exercise in gratitude where we give grace and respects to our rose, which is something that happened this week that we're really grateful for, our bud, which is something that's going to happen next week that we're really excited about, and our thorn, which is something that was a little bit of a thorn on the side. Why don't you start us off, Steve?
Okay, so my thorn this week started with what was supposed to be an hour of practice of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I usually play online and have a problem losing to people for some reason, in the sense that it's totally fine and fun when I do it in person, just playing and playing and playing, but just something about playing with people, playing a fighting game over the internet and not seeing their expressions or faces and losing to them, it's just infuriating. And I was trying to meditate in between matches, and I have a lot of meditating to do. So that's definitely my thorn, and letting my emotions get the best of me when I should be having fun. My rose was having a day, I believe it was Wednesday, where I completed 5 of the 5 habits that I've been trying to instill, which are having a skincare routine, making my bed, doing push-ups, meditating, and journaling. Did all 5 of those. I felt great, and I ended up doing it the next day. And yeah, it's been a nice little momentum booster. Yeah, and my bud is getting to share a budget template that I made earlier this week. Now with Josh, but also another friend who had actually hit me up because of the podcast. Not really sure, but
shout out to the listeners.
Yeah, shout out to the listeners. But he asked about a budget, and I was like, I would be delighted to share that with you. So listeners, if you guys need a budget template, hit me up. I love Excel. I'm gonna be gradually improving it, and just always looking to make people's financial lives a little bit easier.
In the wise words of the youth, yeet.
Yeet.
Wise words of
All
the
right,
youth.
Frank, what you got?
All right, so we got thorn, rose, and a bud. So my thorn this week. So I was working on one of my projects at the office. Can't really speak about it due to the NDA, but the client came back with the worst note you could possibly give to a creative. Just make it fun.
Oh my God.
Just make it fun. And I'm like, what? Just make it fun. And I'm like, oh, like maybe this. I'm like, just fun. Like they tried to explain it to me by just saying fun more times, as if saying fun multiple times will give me any sort of direction of what the fuck you want this to be. So just make it fun. So for the next couple of hours, I was just like I had a existential breakdown of just what is fun? Is this fun? Maybe they mean this is fun. This could be fun. It was such a thorn. And eventually, I actually, coaxed them into more direction later on. But for 2 hours, I was, I was just what? I was just stuck on what is fun? Is this fun? Are they having great? Do the youth love this? That's my thorn. My rose is the sun is finally out in Los Angeles. It's been 2.5 miserable-ass months in LA. It's been uncharacteristically rainy this entire year. So the fact that the sun is so the fact that the sun is coming out now has just made me feel amazing. I went sunbathing a number of times. I'm not in sunbathing shape. I still need to keep up with the Noah style a little more. I look at myself.
There's more of you to sunbathe now.
Oh, yeah. Shut up.
I think it's just sun soaking at that point.
Yeah, because I'm still looking at myself in the mirror like, hey, pal, you gotta, ooh. So I'm definitely better than I was a couple weeks ago, but still far from my ultimate goal. So I need to keep that up. And my bud is actually, found this out yesterday, but I'm actually going to be going to Miami the first week of May.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So one of my closest friends, Kevin, he's actually going to be visiting Miami for a week. He's like, hey, are you gonna? You should be in Miami this week. And I'm like, oh, that's also my birthday week. So I'm just like, yeah. So for a week, in the first week of May, I'm gonna be out in Miami, just enjoying the sun, hanging out with friends.
Yo, pull up, my G. I got you.
Seems like you found what fun is.
That's what fun is. I should have put that more into the digital spot, So yeah, I'm super duper excited about that. Just made the plans down. Getting my tickets very soon.
Nice.
And yeah, that's gonna be super duper dope.
So I'm gonna give you a big ass hug. Just FYI, all right?
I'm into it. I'm into it.
That's what's up. Max.
I have a thorn, a rose, and a bud. My thorn was I did not work out at all this week. Well, I rode my bike to Golden Gate Park once because daylight saving time, and I have more sun after work. Did an ab workout once, but that it was of workouts. It was not much. It was not enough to keep me
Creole, we
active.
call that pity.
Yeah, there you go.
Pity means
my workouts
fart.
were pity.
Are you still bouldering? Yeah. Is your wrist better after all that stuff?
My wrist is way better, actually. So when I'm going to my mental health provider, which is also my physical health provider as well, I'm going to be making appointments for just about everything too, including my wrists. But I really didn't. I wouldn't say it was my wrist's fault that I didn't get my workouts done this week. Put it that way.
Accountability, nigga. Accountability. That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. My rose was that this week at work, we have a group of filmmakers that gets together, and we did a workshop on shot composition. and a lot of people that are just aspiring filmmakers that haven't had any experience in that, they flip their shit when you talk about rule of thirds or leading lines or just the basics of shot composition. And we just did a little workshop to get people interested in our group and how to take better photos and cinematic videos and stuff like that. People ate that stuff up. They had a lot of fun. They learned a lot of things, and I just love being in front of a group and teaching people stuff, of course. So that definitely felt great to do that as well. And giving
you got any documents you can share with your boy? Because I'm trying to, what I'm
saying? Our workshop is super simple because it's everyone. A lot of novices there, so we just watch YouTube videos and then we talk about it, and then we actually take our camera phones out and recreate a lot of things we saw to actually try out the things that we saw in the video.
These youths have it easy. Back in our day, we had to get cameras, we had to get tapes.
Yeah. So that feels pretty awesome, and we're gonna have one next week about 3-point lighting. So people are gonna learn all about that next week, and then we're gonna do audio design the week after that. So we have a whole little thing going on. Yeah, trying to get people to learn how to make their own short films and stuff. It's pretty great. I love doing it. And we bought a light set and a clapper board since we have a little budget for the group. So just getting people some equipment to feel like they're making films and stuff.
Oh, that's what's up.
Pretty awesome. And my bud is that, guys, very similar to Frank. It's summertime in California, and that's what all these movies are about.
Mm-hmm.
Just driving down the 101, California, here we come, right back where
we started from.
That song was definitely yeah. I hope people know that song. All those songs were definitely written in the summer in California, and it's just starting to peak out right now. It's
so there's a lot of music and films that are going to be made right now about California.
Oh yeah, about
100%.
These moments. Yes.
Yeah.
And people are acting nicer. People are more talkative in the streets. People are more friendly. It's just a better vibe all around. So I love it. People are out here just showing more love in general. That's what summertime kind of is about. So I'm very excited about actual summer being here, because right now it's just it's springy, but summertime's gonna be great.
Josh,
my thorn rosebud this week. My thorn is my brother, which you guys know, is going to be going to California.
Ooh.
For his birthday. He wanted me to come. I wanted to go. I was planning on going. But I had to swallow a firm bullet and say I cannot afford that trip.
Ooh.
So, he's young, he's spry, he doesn't have that many commitments. So he's like, yo, I'm trying to book these, dog. And I'm just like, yo, do your thing, man. And I was a little sad that I couldn't go with him.
Yeah.
But, I have to be responsible, and he's old enough, he's going to find his bearings. So, Frank, I might have him link up with you at some point.
Oh, word. No doubt.
Let him know to come to the Bay. Let him know to come to the Bay. We'll get high feed.
I don't know about hyphy.
He doesn't know hyphy.
My rose is that I got 2 acting gigs this week, which is pretty awesome.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to my dog Troy.
Yeah?
He recommended me to someone to do something, and I'm gonna be doing some traveling to do some acting work, which is awesome.
Nice.
Dope.
Yeah. And then another friend of mine, she, had as a friend that has a production company that's doing a commercial, and was like, hey, I know a guy. And I got 2 references for 2 acting jobs this week. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Pretty awesome. And my bud is something that's not necessarily happening next week, but something that's going to be happening maybe in the next month or so, is I applied to Sundance Labs for a TV series that I'm working on. And I wasn't going to do it. Or I was like, the deadline's today. And I said, fuck it, I didn't do it. And then I'm on Twitter, and they're like, hey, we've extended the deadline for 2 days. And I was like, oh, shit. So,
that means the applicants were skeet, and they wanted more.
I hope so.
LLC.
Yeah.
So I applied to that, and even if I don't get it, I still got an opportunity to really flesh out the heart and soul of my show, and I'm really excited about this project either way. But it would be dope as fuck to be a Sundance alum and to be a part of that program. So, keep your fingers crossed for your boy. We'll see what happens.
All right.
On that note, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening to us. Listeners, we really appreciate you.
Truly, truly appreciate it.
Truly appreciate it for spending time with us. And our gratitude to you is forever and endless. Never endless. Endless, yeah, right? Our gratitude is never
ending?
Wait, no, it is endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is endless.
It's either endless or never ending.
Don't edit this out.
That's
Anyway,
how much we care.
We hope you have a great, amazing, and productive week going straight to the top. See you next week. Bye, y'all. We got a couple shout outs that we want to give. Shout out to Gino Music for making the theme song. The song is called Won't Stop. Eddie and Lewis for making the interstitial music and giving us the good vibes. Follow along with our challenges at y'allboystalkin.com. Subscribe to us via iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at y'allboystalkin. New episodes every week.